So yeah, you have two series. There were 5 games and done. And the as I said, Pacers and Cavs. Pacers take out the Cavs in 5. Celtics take out, excuse me, not the Celtics. Timberwolves take out the Warriors in 5. And you got one going 7, and the Nuggets and the Thunder. Nuggets get that dub tonight. And then you got one in game 6 that, yeah, with the Knicks and the Celtics. So definitely crazy. I'm loving the playoffs this year. It has been suspenseful. Yeah, like I said, you've had a couple of blowouts, but you've had some good tight games that came out to the last minute. And I will say the Knicks are very, 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 very clutch. Very clutch. So yeah, keep your eye out there on it, boy. Keep your eye because we're coming into the conference finals. So another thing big happened in the NBA, the draft lottery. The draft lottery. Um, it was crazy. Your number one team, number one pick, went to the Dallas Mavericks. They had a 1.8% chance of winning that. And it's crazy because people think stuff like that is rigged. Man, they did this just so it wasn't rigged. Folks are crazy, what? The stuff and the theories that folks will come up with, regardless, they got the number one pick. Anybody that watches hoops, you know that's Cooper Flag is the number one. Um, from what I've been seeing, reading, no plans to give up that number one pick, which I would agree with. I don't know why you would. He has very high upside, very high upside. They talk about how he dominated um, the scrimmage game against the USA. I saw some highlights from that. Monster guy, good wingspan there, about 6'7", 6'8". But I'd say between the two and the three, he can handle the ball. I don't know if that's a point guard. Just because you can handle the ball doesn't make you a point guard as well. I think that I should throw that little side note in there. I think a lot of the newer generation now, it's like if you handle the ball, you're a point guard. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Um, but Mavericks get the number one pick. The Spurs get the number two pick. That's going to be extremely interesting what they do. The Spurs have a lot of cap space. They have pieces that they can move. They have picks that they can move. Um, and off topic, but on topic, big thing you've been hearing is it's possibly them going after Giannis. Giannis is exploring options there. Bucks, of course, have been out in the first round for the last 2 years. As you know, a few years back, made that run, got a finals there. But it hasn't been the same since. Hasn't been the same since. So Giannis exploring options. Spurs, they have options. They also got the 14th pick. They have the second and the 14th pick. So to finish it off, third is the 76ers. We know they need all the help they can get. Injuries, they plagued them. All three of their top players, or even if they were what they were supposed to be, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and then Paul George, all just injury plagued this year. So interesting to see them. 4 is the Hornets. Yeah. 5 is the Jazz. 6 is the Wizards. 7 is the Pelicans, and 8 is the Nets. I don't see really any of them making any big moves as far as like, oh man, they're gonna be in the playoffs with this. 8 Nets, as I said, 9 Raptors, 10 Rockets, 11 Trailblazers, 12 Bulls, 13 Hawks, and as I said, 14 Spurs. So it's gonna be interesting with the free agents that are out there, how this does shift. I do think pretty much that outside of that Spurs, I think that the top 8 picks are gonna stay where they are. Um, like I say, when you look at the Hornets, Jazz, Wizards, Pelicans, and Nets, they don't really have anything except youth anyway. So youth and well, the Wizards, they got it all. They span everywhere. But well, yeah, that Cooper Flag, man, that number one Mavericks, I remember seeing I was watching like what? What? So man, if you look at it, the potential, Kyrie's not gonna be back at the first part of the season. I don't think so. Not with the knee. He is rehabbing though. I've been seeing that. Good sign there. But you know, he's not old, but he's getting older. I think he's around 33, 34 years old. So you still want to take your time with that knee. So, I mean, Anthony Davis, Clay, uh, PJ Washington, nice contributor there. And who knows? With don't forget, Jason Kidd is the coach down there. Don't forget what he did with Giannis. Um, definitely developed Giannis, and you know Giannis always gives him the props for that development when he was the Bucks coach. Um, so man, it's gonna be interesting. I will definitely be tuned in for the draft. Well, like I said, Cooper is pretty much the number one, but let's see how the other stuff unfolds. Any trades gonna happen there at the top, things like that. So